I want fluff everywhere.
I would probably say like 90% of my comments at this point are AI where
I've seen so many people on LinkedIn being the SEO guy, literally the SEO guy.
I have never said I am an expert. The only time I say I'm an expert is to clients and on my sales page.
My specialty, I niche down in sarcasm. It's quite a niche.
Yes. I mean, that's a thing. There's coaches for that.
I realized that it's not a startup; it's $100 billion bank, and ChatGPT can die next year.
I got invited to the Ahrefs concert, but I just didn't feel like using my vacation.
Do people say PPC is dead, the emailing is? I never heard that. It's always like SEO is dead. What's wrong with us? Hey all, I'm Sami from Collaborator, a PR distribution marketplace that connects advertisers and publishers. And today I'm joined by Peter Rota, fellow SEO consultant who's built a massive LinkedIn followers with more than 70,000 followers, one of the top accounts on LinkedIn, talking a lot about how to build a personal brand. He actually just launched his ebook on personal branding, and we're going to talk about that today, about all the AI hype, the secret sauce, BS, and all the BS overall that we see online. And I'm really excited to talk to you, Peter. Welcome on the show.
Thank you. Yes, happy to be here, and thank you for the kind words. It's been a good journey, but happy to be here to talk about personal branding, why it's important, and just my SEOs as a whole.
You started posting on LinkedIn, I think, 4 years ago. You're now one of the top LinkedIn accounts for SEO. How did you do it, and what's the difference versus when you started and now?
Yeah, so I actually signed up for LinkedIn. I think it was 2008 or 2009 as advice from my career advisor when I was in college, and basically kind of just use it as mostly like most people use it as applying for jobs, resume site, and I think it was like 2021. I started seeing people post like Ali and Sam. I know I'm gonna butcher his last name, Szechuan, I think. So I was seeing a lot of their posts, and I was like, well, like I would love to like start posting and kind of just see how it goes. And linking, like as I said on my ebook, it's changed my life, and I was not trying to like have that happen, but I was like, okay, like I'm gonna keep putting effort into it. And I felt like at least another reason I started posting was I felt like there was a void, at least in the SEO industry, where there's a lot of people talking about stuff that's not really actionable or hacks that don't really work, or it's like they're speaking like they've never worked on a website. So I just try to be authentic and have like my no BS style.
Definitely. I think that's how I in those lists, top SEOs to follow, that was like posting much more in the past and doing those lists too. And this is how I defined you. Like I had a short catchline for everyone, and you was like no BS SEO. And this is what I like about your content. It's very relatable. It's like just honest, and there's usually not much makeup around it. And my issue right now on LinkedIn and social media overall, it's that it feels like it's soulless, like it's just AI talking with other AIs. And I don't know, I feel like we're not even able to have our own opinions anymore, just everyone agreeing with each other. There is no real conversation anymore. So how do you stand on all of this, and how do you deal with that? Because being one of the largest accounts, you must get spammed with all of that too. Do you get tired of this?
I would probably say like 90% of my comments at this point are AI, where they basically regurgitate what you said in the post, or they agree with you. Um, I mean, the way I'm standing out is I'm speaking from my lived experience, which I know a lot of people on LinkedIn speak about. So no one really follows people on LinkedIn because like they can't find the information elsewhere. They follow you for your personality and your authenticity. And the way I've always approached SEO is like I'm going to speak from the heart. I'm going to show you like to a point my whole life, but like the ups and downs, and not just everything's perfect. And like I've posted where it's like I've had health issues, or I've posted my biggest wins. So I think it's much easier to stand out when everyone's just wants to sound the same and they all want to sound perfect. And it's like I think people are craving at least in social media, people that are just authentic and real. Because it's like, how can you relate for someone that's never shared their struggles and they're just like, everything's perfect and I have this amazing income and blah blah blah. It's like it does. I mean, it definitely helps some people, but it's just not my style. So I just feel like just put out good vibes and I mean, it's bad because like as you know, comments kind of fuel the algo and help, but it's like if they're all AI comments, it's just like it kind of gets. It's definitely I feel like it lost some of like the happiness of commenting when it's all AI, but it also makes it easier for you to stand out too.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is why also, to be fair, sometimes I feel like I'm having fun with it because I kind of trolling people more. I'm using more
Yes,
sarcasm, I'm having even more fun with that, with their really empty comments. But some of the time I'm just completely drained. And this is why also I haven't been really consistent with LinkedIn. I think you saw that. I have issue keep on posting on LinkedIn, and part of it is that I get drained by Nozaya comments and feel like that there's no genuine connection. And then again,
yeah,
sometimes I
same.
connect again with people, like-minded people, and that it excites me again. But yeah, I think for the last 2 years, LinkedIn has been slowly dying with all the AI comments, and the algo has changed too.
Yeah,
So I started posting in 2023 at the end in December, and I remember I could post about anything and get impression, engagement,
yeah.
everything, even leads from random posts. And now we've seen the algo changing a lot. Is it also the same for huge accounts like you, or do you still get similar impressions and engagement than like last year, like, for example?
I mean, I would say I'm having the same experience where I am down probably at least 30-40% impressions, I would say. I mean, I think it's kind of, I wouldn't say it makes sense, but I think this is kind of where all social media platforms go, as they'll initially have great reach. And then as they try to make more of a profit, they pushing more paid ads. And um, I think the thing is like LinkedIn's happy with any engagement. So even if people are using AI to comment, that's better than nothing. But yeah, I've definitely seen a hit. And um, I mean, I'm in the process, but I'm thinking of basically starting an email newsletter, which is like one SEO tip slash personal branding tip a week just to diversify my traffic. So definitely like kind of like SEO, you want to diversify your traffic and not only be on LinkedIn and just be where your audience is at this point.
Yeah, I've been so lazy with the newsletter. I've been collecting emails for I think 2 years, and I just sent my first newsletter for to promote the podcast episode. It was supposed to
Oh,
be also about
nice.
initially I wanted to do a personal branding course too, and then I kind of stopped because I felt like something was not fitting me, was not really authentic with what I wanted to produce. So I paused it for a while, and now I'm thinking of maybe doing it again and talk about many different things. That, for example, building the tool that I showed you last time, and do more of a hybrid course. But how did you create that course? How did it start? Is it something that was natural for you? Did you have to force yourself? And yeah, what was the process to create? Because sometimes I'm wondering if I would be better creating in public to keep me accountable
Yeah.
and force me to really push myself, or do it really in the side and come back when I'm really sure about my work.
Yeah, so I think it was last year I got invited to an authority hacker. They for their membership area they do like podcasts. So I basically was invited to do a PowerPoint presentation on personal branding on LinkedIn. And initially I think I had I don't know how many slides it was, maybe 40 or 50 slides, but basically I kind of had like what I've talked about in the book, and it's largely been added more to the book, but was essentially like how I'm using LinkedIn, like my processes and things like that. So essentially, what I did was basically take this long presentation, make it a bit longer. I think it ended up being close to 13,000 words, but essentially, I adapted it into a book and I basically put everything I know. I also asked it on a few occasions like what people would want to see in a book, and I added stuff there. But um, I mean, I think it's a bit easier because it's an ebook versus an actual course. I think a course would have definitely been a bit more challenging just because you have to record everything. And as you can see, my setup is not fantastic, but I make it work. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's funny through the course of LinkedIn and maybe this course I've sorry ebook. I realized I actually enjoy writing a lot more than I did in school. So yeah, I mean, it's been a nice change, and I'm definitely happy and happy anyone that buys anything for me because I'm not someone that obviously I do sponsored posts, but like I'm not someone that goes on LinkedIn and tries to just push stuff and sell. I like to provide value. So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's kind of what I've done with the ebook is just provide as much value, not really have any fluff in there, and just where you've read ebooks or books where they just write stuff and it's just like okay, just get to the point. So I'm like it's like straight to the point. You could read it probably within an hour and a half, but you're gonna get a lot out of it.
No, that's not for me, man. I want 500 pages minimum. I
Yeah.
want fluff everywhere. And in terms of pricing, how did you decide on the pricing? Is something also that's been torturing me. Like, should I go
Yeah.
high ticket? Should I start with something cheap first, and then once you have a relationship with your audience and they bought something from you, maybe they're more enticed in buying something more expensive later on. What was you thinking there?
Yeah, so I mean, I think at least with ebooks and courses, there's a lot of obviously it's not intentional, but there's a lot of gatekeeping as far as making it super expensive. So it's like I wanted a resource that anyone could buy, whether you're in like a third world country or you're in like the U.S. So I think that was my idea. So I was like $20, and which isn't a huge investment for a lot of people. Like obviously it's different where you're living, but $20 is not a massive investment for something that's gonna change your life substantially. I also launched it with a few different tiers of pricing. So I did initially $20 for the first 100 orders, and then after that it's $27. And then I also did a thing where like I think if I charge $60, so you get the ebook, and then you get like a critique of your LinkedIn profile, and then I think $80, and then you get the ebook, and then an hour of my free time to just answer any questions. So I kind of went a little Alex Hormozy and just tried to. I mean that stuff works, and I thought it was good because like some people will likely they'll be like okay like I'll read this and I'll just pay you. So it's like I've used it mostly as potential lead gen tool, and I think I'm slowly not maybe fully on, but trying to go to. I enjoy SEO and it pays the bills, but I think personal branding and LinkedIn is more my passion. So I guess it's kind of just my involvement of a creator on LinkedIn in my professional career.
That's cool. That's why I'm also realizing right now. I'm wondering if I don't just want to build tools. I love building
Yeah.
tools. Especially with AI now, it's so much easier, and I love solving issues for my clients, automating things. And I'm like, should SEO become secondary too? And also, like I do enjoy writing a lot. I even write, as a ghostwriter for a friend for his
I didn't
LinkedIn
know that.
content. Um, and I think the key is really to be authentic if you want to enjoy the process. If you're really able to express yourself in a way that's authentic to you, you're really gonna enjoy it. Otherwise, if you just think, okay, I'm gonna play the LinkedIn game, I'm gonna come here, post every day, those tips, just come here, post every day, and you'll see the results will come or whatever. No, I think you need to find your voice. You need to have a proper
Yeah.
strategy, and I guess all of that is already in your book. And if people want to check it out, I think it's on Gumroad, right?
Yeah, it's links in my featured links, and then I've also posted about a post today, 10/17. So whenever they watch this, they can go back. But I'll likely be posting about it.
Do you consider like maybe doing some coaching too, focusing on coaching, or you prefer really having, I don't know, like a media, like just doing a course or recording videos, but not direct coaching? Would you consider
I
that?
would, yeah, I'd love to do stuff like that. Like I mentioned I mean, I have a full time job, so I'd love to be like full time freelance SEO slash personal branding, but um, I do enjoy helping others, so I would be happy. But maybe, I mean, a course might be just harder because I don't feel like I'm the best. There's a lot of people with better courses than me, so I mean, if anything, I would do another ebook, but maybe write to a specific thing where it's like best hooks or it's like how to like I don't know get clients so from LinkedIn. So yeah.
So you just mentioned something that it's kind of a signature mark. It's that you're freelancing and you
Yeah.
also have a full-time job, and you talk about that a lot, being able to juggle
Yeah.
the freelancing gigs with the full-time role. Is it something that you're comfortable telling us today, giving us some tips about it and how it evolved? Because I know that when I first tried to do that at the start of my career, I did it completely wrong, and I messed up all the opportunities at the same time. Instead of at least one went well, and no, everything was just messed up. So if you can talk about that and how you're able to keep everyone happy, I think that would help lots of junior SEOs.
Yeah, of course. So, my current role, I've been there a little over 3 years, and I'm a senior technical SEO manager for Hub International, which is basically an insurance brokerage. They have a good amount of locations, but um, one of the reasons why I took the job is that they are fine with me freelancing and doing stuff on my own time. I remember I had interviewed at a few different companies, and they basically said, you can't freelance here. Your number one focus needs to be us. And while that sounds good in practice, no one you could fire me tomorrow and like there goes all my effort. So it's like I think it's important as SEOs and just entrepreneurs and even people, especially in the current economy, to have assets beyond your full time job. So I mean the way I manage it is like when I'm still doing freelance, but like I don't have a ton of clients beyond some one-offs right now. So it's more been a lot of just LinkedIn sponsored posts, which I've been doing, and then obviously, like I mentioned, the ebook. But generally, what I'll do is I'll usually work either before work, after work, and the weekends and nights. So I think it just really depends on your goals and how productive you are. Because I'd probably say I work close to like 60 hours a week, but I definitely enjoy the stuff on the side, so I think that helps too because it's very hard to do freelance if you don't enjoy the work because it's as you know, it's a grind and you really want to have to like show up and do the work. So I think it's just knowing like getting kind of the general idea and then niching down and then just like defining who you are.
Speaking of niching down, I've seen so many people on LinkedIn being the SEO guy, literally the SEO
Yeah.
guy, like hundreds or thousands of people, and they're not niching down at all. They're being still very generic.
Yeah.
What's your advice for those people that still are just giving broad tips, very generic tips, and expect to make it today?
Yeah, I mean it's something I'm trying to work on a bit more myself. I'm trying to focus more on just technical and on-page SEO, but I think it's kind of like you're giving advice that's unique to your audience, so you're solving their pain points because it's like anyone can share generic SEO advice. Like I want to see like how you solve my problem, or here's a case study, or just very specific. So I think it's like kind of like figuring out what's your niche. Um, I think initially I was just doing general SEO, but for probably the last month or so, I've been focused more on technical SEO and then some on-page stuff. But I realized that at least a lot of the lists I'm known for like technical SEO, and I enjoy that the most at this point. Honestly, like I do audits, but I know at least backlinks I can like outsource them, but it's like I wouldn't say it's my specialty at this point. So it's like you kind of just pick a few areas that you're good at that kind of complement each other and just sell those things and just make sure you're putting it in like your cover photo and how you're going to help them and solve their issues.
Cool. My specialty, I niche down in sarcasm. It's quite a niche.
Yes, yes,
I'm seeing it's getting more popular on LinkedIn though right now. It's quite fun. I'm seeing more humorous content over on LinkedIn. When I started posting
yes.
my fun content, initially it's Lime Fallen and Fairy Kazuni that inspired me. But beside those two, I was like not seeing many people doing that. And now I'm happy to see it's a bit more relaxed, even though it's as we said mostly AI now, so it does
Yeah, yeah. I
not the
mean, I'm
same.
definitely seeing a lot of more people lightening up. So I think that's a good because I mean, I think as much as it's like an education or networking platform, I think people are in the point of social media where they want to have a little fun and they want to show their personalities, and I think that's just where we are as a
We're
society. Is
humans.
people,
I think it's
yeah, we're human
good.
exactly. We're not
Yeah,
machines, as I was saying earlier. We're not expecting perfection.
that just like being corporate all the time now. Come on, I mean, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, exactly.
So, from my understanding, you've been working on quite big projects, but also on local projects on the side too, with more local businesses. Can you tell me a bit about the differences between working on a huge project with like tons of different devs and engineers and designers and having to coordinate, and working with a small client that, let's say, has one person doing all the marketing?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been in this job, like I mentioned, for 3 years now, but I've probably been in the enterprise SEO space for close to 10 years, and I think what a lot of people don't realize is the amount of um, kind of, I wouldn't say bottlenecks, but the amount of kind of people you need to get on board, resources, politics, and then it's kind of like figuring out like sometimes it's kind of accommodating. So sometimes it's like we need to do this for SEO, but it's not good for the development, or it's like we looked into this and it breaks the website and it's not worth the speed. So it's kind of just like weighing everything, getting approval, being able to tell a story of why something's beneficial. Like every month we do a lot of reporting and we're kind of saying like, here's what we did, here's why it's important, and things like that. Versus you have a local SEO, you're working with one business owner. They most of the time, depending on the client, they kind of trust you and your recommendations. You don't really push back a ton, but it's like there's no approvals. It's you're all doing the things, you're implementing the stuff on the website versus like here's like I'm working on a massive CMS and it has to go through all these approvals and legal and all that fun.
That resonates so much with me. I've started working for second largest bank in France this year. At first, I trained them. I went to Paris in January. I trained them. That was really cool. And then they were like, okay, let's keep working, together and see what we can do. And I'm like, sure. And I started producing content, doing things, and I realized that it's not a startup; it's $100 billion bank, and the content
Yeah.
you produce, they're gonna trim it 70%. You want to do things, they have to organize free committees to talk about it. Just
Yeah.
creating a blog on a WordPress site, creating a blog is like a complete mess. It's gonna take months and months and months. And now I realize that I'm like, okay, I need to manage my own expectations and the expectation their own the expectations to the client expectations, and it's something that I had issue with at first because I get so excited on the projects, want to do so many things, and here I realize, okay, you can't do that. You really have to adapt to the
Yeah.
client.
Ran into the same thing many times where it's like, oh, this would be nice to do, and they're like, no, it's like our the PR team doesn't like that, or da da da. So it's just a lot more to manage. But I think the advantage, at least in local SEO, is you can move much faster versus enterprise, where it's like it's a much slower process. So I mean, it definitely has its pros and cons.
Yeah, definitely. I thought in my mind, Enterprise was like really the grail because it was that next step and everything. I thought it was great, and but yeah, I realize now that maybe I prefer mid-sized companies able to give me enough flexibility. So they're not like too small, they're not broke, they still have resources, they still want to move fast, but they're not tied up in completely ridiculous corporate processes. And I mean, to be fair, when you get those kind of clients and you just pay to sit on meetings, it doesn't hurt to have one client like that that doesn't stress you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's tough to find a good mix because I mean, I've worked in startups where it's like I'm doing everything, or I'm versus now where I'm mostly focused on technical SEO, but I do a lot of on page too. So Yeah.
When you work on big website, how do you make sure that your audits are really actionable and easy to, like, basically when you, like your ebook, no fluff? Because what I've seen in enterprise SEO, at least from my limited experience, is that sometimes you get audits that are like 200 pages,
Yeah.
and the client has no idea of what to do, and just come to me after like already running an audit, and like, what do we do with
Hmm.
that audit?
Yeah, I mean, the way I've approached audits for a good time now is essentially I'll break them down depending on the size of the website. So if it's like a page template, I'll go through that. I'll basically be like, here's what's going on, here's how to fix it, and then kind of break down each issue, broken down by page slash template, and at the end, I kind of prioritize them based on what's going to have like the highest impact.
Yeah.
And then I'll also kind of shoot a Loom video, kind of doing a quick overview as well. I feel like those are definitely the most actionable as well. Something I probably should do, but it does take a bit longer. It's kind of using I don't know if it's called a priority matrix, but basically saying like, this is going to be X amount of resources, but it's going to have like a higher impact versus something that's like no resources and doesn't have an impact, or vice versa.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so, in terms of your day to day, what does it look like? You're talking with devs every day, with different teams, or are you in meetings a lot? Or are you mostly communicating with tickets? What's your day to day look like?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a mix. I mean, usually daily I have a stand up with so I manage two websites. And we usually have a daily stand up. We're kind of like going over like what Jira tickets are working on, any issues, updates, things like that. I do create a large amount of Jira tickets. So a lot of times it's just communicating with the developers, testing things. I been using Google Search Console a lot recently just to kind of look for more issues there, and kind of always kind of thinking of new opportunities, because 3 years is a long time to work on the same two websites and continue to kind of think of stuff. So I've been one thing recently is like SEMrush has a thing where you can see like index pages that have backlinks, and I found a few pages that had a good amount of backlinks. So I've basically created a ticket for our content team to essentially redirect those to some more relevant pages to kind of reclaim some of those backlinks. But um, I mean, we're also working on like a website redesign as well, so I've been involved in that. And then there's also things where like I'm involved, and there's been issues with Cloudflare, and so I'm. It's not right now, but it's been in the past. So it's kind of like sometimes it's reactive, sometimes it's proactive. But I've always viewed technical SEO as kind of like the glue that holds everything together. So it's like you get rid of that and nothing else works well. So you just need a strong foundation, which I'm pretty sure I wrote a LinkedIn post about that and actually did pretty well. So
So,
yeah,
that sounds exciting though. So I like the fact that it's mostly technical, but then you still were in touch with different teams,
yeah,
helping on the redesign and everything. Because I was wondering how, because I have issues staying a few years at the same company.
mm,
So I
yeah,
was wondering how you managed to keep things exciting, and after a while, like just finding new ideas, it must be just hard when you already done so many things on this website. And in terms of experiments, is it something that you're able to run experiments? I know in SEO it's not always super easy,
yeah.
depending also on the company, or like what? Yeah, are you able to run experiments basically?
I mean, it's something we should probably do more of. I mean, in the past, I have done some tests where we've updated content on some of our location pages, and kind of like a proof of concept to see if that was going to help. And I had like mixed results where like one page improved, but then the two others did improve. So, I mean, that's kind of like an experiment. But sometimes beyond that, it's like we've made changes to a template where it's like we've added a keyword and that improved the SEO. But I know at least the A conversion optimization team is trying to do more testing, and that's always fun because I was like, oh, like I hope this doesn't affect the SEO, and I was like, so I'm kind of just dealing with that now, and I was like, oh, okay, we'll figure it out.
I do like that a lot. conversion rate optimization. I'm not an expert at all in that, but I love just watching session recording, heat maps, and trying to understand how the traffic interacts with the website and what can be done to convert the traffic. Because so something I say a lot is that clients think they want traffic, they actually want conversions. So getting the traffic is just the first step. So when did you start incorporating like aspect of conversion or things like that in your work? Because initially when I started SEO, to be honest, I just thought it was about bringing traffic, and it took me
Yeah.
a while to realize that I actually need to bring the right kind of traffic, and even sometimes advise the clients on how to convert this traffic.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably for 4 or 5 years now, I've been focused more on like I'm not a master as obviously like yourself, but I do use heat maps and I kind of look at those things because I actually was dealing with a affiliate client. They basically have a travel blog and they have some of affiliate links, and um, their traffic was like going way down. And I was like, well, it's because like no one's reading these pages. But then like I looked at some of the heat maps and people were actually reading a good amount of stuff. So I was like, well, it's not that. So I kind of like ruled that out. But like I'm really a fan of Microsoft Clarity, which is a free tool for like heat maps and user recording and things like that. So I've wrote about that on LinkedIn, but I think it's even more important right now because as you know, like Google is sending less and less traffic to your website. So it's like any people you want that end up on your website, you really want them to convert. Another thing too is I think it's also picking relevant keywords. If you're just going after solely informational keywords, someone's going to go to that page and bounce. So it's like you can say CRL, but you also want just the traffic to be targeted. And I think at least before AIOs and AI mode, there was a heavy focus on just informational content and da da da. So you may be sending less traffic, but it'll convert better. But I think it's like you also just need to know your audience.
So Geo, AIO, AIE, don't even know any name now. Like I was gone for a few months. I came back. I was like, what happened to the SEO world? So SEO is really dead this time. How do you educate clients on the geo situation? And like, let's say if they start panicking about something, and like maybe it's not as important as what they think or what they read on Twitter. And I had this issue with some clients obsessing, for example, about LLM.txt, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't think there was a point. And I had to educate a lot, but then at the end it worked out. After having this conversation, and I'm wondering if you also need to educate a lot, if you push back a lot, or if they're not even talking about that right now, they don't care.
I mean, it's something we've definitely tried to educate a lot more as we've taken a pretty big hit in traffic. But I've looked at a lot of those were kind of informational searches or searches that like some Google could return and basically answer. So I think it's just kind of being realistic how their user journey has changed and people don't just go to Google and convert. They're using multiple sources. So I mean we're looking into like AI visibility tools, we're educating the upper management, more things like impressions and overall conversions versus just here's page one keyword rankings or here's how many keyword rankings you're going for. So I think it's just speaking in a language that they understand and also just being realistic that I think that's just where people are the natural evolution of the web is like people want to find information fast. They don't really want to go on a website and look for things. So I think just being realistic and, as I mentioned, diversifying into other areas. So we have a large presence for like direct traffic, so we've been doing that, and just diversifying other channels like social media and email as well. So definitely not having all your eggs in one basket and realizing that um, SEO is not, I guess, the golden goose it used to be. So you need to be beyond just Google and the other search engines.
Do you have any specific methods to for the search engines, or you just run your playbook for Google, which I basically do myself. Like I'm wondering in niches if let's say Bing is super relevant in a specific niche. Do you have like specific tactics for that, or no?
I mean, I've read into a lot of the Bing optimization, and it seems they focus heavily more on the exact match in title tags and keywords. But I
Yeah.
mean, beyond that, I haven't done a ton. We implemented the Index Now protocol 7 months ago for a website. We just saw a pretty large increase in traffic, though I think some of that could be from LLM/Copilot as well, but that is something we have implemented and we saw a pretty good increase. So I think it's just utilizing the technology and the things available. But yeah, Bing is definitely underrated for sure.
Yeah, it's something that no client really asked me about that, so I haven't really tried to look more into it. I usually, dive deeper into topics once client asks me about it most of the times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I literally don't know anything about it. I just do the work for Google and say, oh, I'm ranking on being another search engine too. Cool.
Yeah.
So next we have our little game, the SEO quote roulette. Hey guys, bear with us. This is experimental. We're trying to do our thing. This is the third episode of the podcast. We're trying things. So if you don't like it, let us know in the comments. If you do like it, well, let us know too, please. So as a reminder for the game, I'm gonna give you statements, sometimes quite bold statements, and you're gonna have to guess if they're either from a Google official person, an SEO influencer. Like when I say influencer, like
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
LinkedIn, really Twitter trash. So
Yeah.
less influencer, more trash, even though sometimes they mix up.
Mm.
Every year, for the first one, every year I get more than 10 million impressions from SEO. The trick is simple: be useful.
I would say that's an SEO influencer.
That was Twitter trash, but from
Yeah.
an SEO influencer,
Yeah,
exactly.
SEO influencer. Yeah.
Maybe you need to clarify that. So the next one, the internet is the first thing that humanity has built that humanity doesn't understand. The largest experiment in anarchy that we have ever had.
Probably an influencer. I feel like Google wouldn't say something that bold.
Eric Schmidt from Google.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, he's not there anymore, but I do remember something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
exactly. Maybe that's why he's not there anymore, you think?
No, I think he made enough money. It was like, I'm done. It's a lot.
You see this? I quit.
If you own a website, you should make it active.
That's the whole quote.
That's the whole quote. I'm also looking for the rest of the quote. Maybe we can cut that one and go to the next one because I don't understand it, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, no, you're good.
We need very few links to rank pages. Over the years, we made links less important.
Google.
Yeah, Gary, it is. Google.
Gary. Yeah.
What do you think, by the way? Sorry for the interruption on that, but what do you think about the statement about links not being in a top 3 or top 5 instead of the as a ranking
Highly
point?
disagree because I've seen many sites with poor content rank purely on authority. So that's why I'll always say like great quality links will drop quality content, but ideally you want both so you get people to your website and they convert versus we rank high but we're not getting any traffic. It's converting.
Also, thanks for the parentheses. Let me find another good one. Perfect. Continuing on links. Everyone's obsessed with backlinks, but multiple startups achieve millions of visitors without focusing on backlinks with a specific strategy.
Definitely an SEO influencer. Very salesy.
Those posts are so funny, man. Or my favorite ones, to be honest, like, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Stop. You're doing it wrong. Do it my way. Buy my course now. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
doing it wrong. I didn't know. I was not doing anything today, but didn't know I was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Also, I'm curious, like, what makes you, because this for me, like, some of them are so cringy and they make you crazy. What makes you like really cringe the most when you see content online on social media? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, at least for LinkedIn, I would say it's these people that deliver these over the top hooks, and then the information that follows is very subpar. I'm not going to name any names, but there are some people that do that.
in comparison
um,
to other platforms, do you think? Because I have zero experience, zero knowledge about social media. I hate social media overall. I just started LinkedIn, as a fun experiment.
I mean, I'm not on Twitter as much, but I would say LinkedIn can be cringy at times. I think it's just promising and delivering on what you're actually going to deliver, because it may get you impressions, but you're going to kill people ever wanting to follow you more than just that post. Like my post, I've never been like, I want to go viral, but like, I think I wrote one in the summer where I was like, I wouldn't recommend getting into SEO as a career right now. Here's why. And it got like
Mhm.
70,000 impressions. But I think I wasn't doing that to just like be cringy. I was like, you really want to have to want it. And it's not like just traditional SEO where it's like, we're going to try these things and try to manipulate stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I feel like it's the over promising and under delivering from what I'm seeing,
Yes.
And
I've
my
always been
favorite
a fan of
also,
that.
yeah, and my favorite thing is really the third party graphs going up, no context, sometimes not even scales on the side. You just see something going. You have
Yeah.
zero context, but look, it's going up. It's fine. We're doing well.
Yeah, I've called a lot. I've called people out that before, and I was like, "Show me Google Analytics, show me Google Search Console," and they're like, "Well, we have an NDA," and I'm like, "Who's like? It's not you if you're not telling me the client, or like a random graph is not going to be like, oh, I know who this client is," or like when they had the HubSpot thing where it's like, oh, their traffic is going down. It's like this is literally a third party graph, so it's like people just focus on the wrong stuff.
Okay, moving on to more personal brand tactics, strategies, because you just released an ebook on this. I'm wondering about the posting frequency. So I've said that I've been struggling a lot about posting frequency. Sometimes I post, 4 or 5 times a week, and then take a two-week break. I think it would be much better to just post, I guess, 2-3 times a week and be steady. Have you tested? I think you were posting every day before. Now maybe you're posting a bit less. Do you see different results? Is there what has been your experience with the frequency?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of gone back and forth about it. I mean, I probably post 5 to 7 times a week now, but I think the thing people just forget are the most important thing is to create a routine, but you want something that's sustainable. So it's like I'd rather have someone post less and be consistent versus here's 7 posts and they don't post the rest of the month. Though I've seen more recently where a lot of content that maybe is older than a day does get more reach, but I just try to generally post 7 days a week because just I want to be visible. And I think at least with LinkedIn, it's a lot like, what have you done for me lately? Like, no one's gonna remember unless they're getting shown. No one's gonna remember a post from a month ago. So it's like you just kind of need to be visible. But I definitely recommend just doing what's sustainable for you and able to build a routine and habit and just not like get burnt out. Like I remember, I think last year I was pretty burnt out. So not intentionally, but I was away for like 17 days and I didn't really post. And I was like, ah, I like this. So I was like, I think it just depends on your goals, what you're trying to get out of it, and realistically the bandwidth and what your life responsibilities outside of LinkedIn.
I feel quite shamed Yeah, you described me like post a few days in a row and then disappears for a month. I need to stick to it a bit more, but it's true that I think right now I haven't been sticking to it so well because I had no goals. Just like okay,
Yeah.
posting to have fun, and now with the podcast, it's also a bit different. So I just need the opportunity to be more present on social media, even though I'm doing it more for also for the conferences. It's something that I'm so excited about. We're going to Brighton SEO next week.
Oh, nice.
Are you going to conferences yourself?
No. I mean, I got invited to the Hrefs concert, but I just didn't feel like using my vacation on that.
Ah,
So
come on, it's in San Diego, no? It's pretty nice.
yeah, yeah. No, I want to. I would like to maybe do some masterminds in the future. Just because I feel like that is more networking, and they're going to share a lot of stuff that's like not on the traditional SEO. I mean, at conferences, I feel like they're not amazing for new information, but you make a lot of good connections, which will often trump like what you're learning. So I think that's where I kind of got information at this point, at least from like a lot of the times it's like unless you're Mark Williams Cook, you're probably not talking about new things that Google is doing that no one knows. So it's like there's not a lot of like bombshells at this point beyond maybe like the subpoenas and the information from like Google's court case documents.
I wanted to disagree with you on something, but I can't. Like, I'm agreeing with that too. Like, it's just that when I went to the conferences initially, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna learn those latest tricks and tips.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, it's mostly for junior SEOs.
Yeah, it's not
And
like
then
anything
sometimes it's more
advanced.
interesting, and you see some specific experiments or case studies, and also some great speakers. Sometimes it just baffles me. But I would say that I don't know if to say a bullshit number, but probably 90% of the talk are not that insightful if you have more than 5 years of experience, maybe.
Yeah, agreed.
But for networking, it's the best. It's so much fun. So really, why I go there? It's mostly for networking. Have you been invited maybe to speak soon?
I've been invited one time. I think I forgot the conference, but someone did invite me. But I mean, I'm very modest, and I was like, I don't. I have never said I am an expert. The only time I say I'm an expert is to clients and on my sales page. I think an important trait most SEOs lack is being humble.
Sit down, be humble.
Because they be like, I'm an expert, I know everything. And I was like, no one knows everything in an industry that can change overnight. And I just be humble and I just try to keep learning. And if that means I'm an expert because of my shared experiences, great. But I don't consider myself an expert because there's a lot more smart people than me in the industry.
The same, which is why I mostly post sarcastic content too, because every time I'm thinking, well, people already said that, and this is an issue I have sometimes, and I realize that not all my content needs to be again like the breakthrough, the amazing new things that no one heard about it because it's not sustainable too. And I think I was talking off camera with Sami Chuli recently about that thing. Yeah, I mean, most of the content has to be quite standard. It cannot be always awesome if you want to be able to post consistently. Otherwise, I mean, if you're discovering new things every day, that's a little bit weird.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I've always approached my content is I want to share things no one's talking about, or I want to share things that maybe turn a different point of view on a topic. Like everyone can write about title tags, and it's like you want to be able to share like stuff that's unique that's like not everyone else is talking about. So I think like maybe I don't know. A few years ago, you could just do basic stuff, but now with AI, anyone can spin anything. So it's you want to have unique experiences and insights.
Do you use your own experiences, insights, talk with clients to incorporate that in your LinkedIn content? I feel like Mark Williams Cook is doing that.
Yeah.
I feel sometimes the way he posts, I'm like, did he talk about that to the client and then he got this
Yeah.
idea? And I think it's a good idea. And I'm wondering if you're doing that.
Yeah, I use all of my experiences, and I feel like I don't want to write about something that I haven't personally done because I think in SEO a lot of people are like, do this, but they've never actually done it. So it's like, is this even feasible? Like a lot of the hacks where it's like, yeah, I did this and I made this, but then it's like, what happened after that? So, like, the way I've approached things is I want to talk about things I've done, things that are useful, because if I find it useful, most likely other people will too.
That reminded me, not a bit unrelated, but that reminded me of the SEO heist post, like 2 years ago. Yeah, that kind of thing. Really not my approach to. The guy did made so much money, but yeah.
No, Jake is a incredible writer and he knows how to do stuff. So I'm not gonna really comment on that. But yeah, I mean SEOs like to get wound up over anything these days.
Okay, so let's say you have zero LinkedIn presence right now. Someone in your
Mhm.
audience, they're listening,
Yeah.
they thinking, okay, now it's harder. The algorithm changed. What should I do to get started? Like, should I? How long should I try? What kind of format? What kind of tips do you have for someone that's really starting from scratch, and that maybe also is afraid of taking the first step?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, I mean it's definitely a lot more challenging right now, but I would say kind of just first thing first, you want to have a really good profile image. Like I've seen people with like these AI images or stuff that's clearly fake. So you want a legit profile.
Yeah.
You want a cover that really just kind of sells you as far as like what you do, how you're going to solve people's problems, and usually add a CTA in there. And then your headline is also kind of showing like what you do as well, and usually a CTA. Description, I tend to kind of just similar things where it's like, here's what I do, here's how I'm going to solve your problem, here's proof of results. But as far as the content goes, I mean, I'm seeing carousels still with a large amount of impressions. So if I was just starting out and I had more time than money, I would probably be doing like, I guess, probably at least maybe 1 to 2 videos a week, one carousel, maybe 1 to 2 text posts, but really just showing your unique experiences and just building the overall habit. Because as I talk about, a lot of when people first start out, their content's not going to be great, but it's just the fact you're building that muscle, you're building the routine, and the stuff becomes better as you get older. So I think another thing, like you mentioned, is like you don't want to give up too early. I think maybe I was a bit stubborn, or I just was like, I wasn't all in, but like I was like, I'm gonna just keep doing this. And um, I mean, I've obviously to get where I am now, it's taken probably like 4 years, but I think a lot of people have this realistic expectation now. It's like they can do a few times and then grow big. So I think that's um, just being consistent and really just waiting it out and just keep showing up, because the results will definitely come. And also learning a lot from other creators. Like I learned a lot from like some LinkedIn personal branding people that kind of like helps me stuff. And I've also been reading a lot about copywriting lately, improving there. So it's like kind of improving all skills that can benefit you on LinkedIn as a whole, like strategy, positioning, design, like being persuasive. So just continuing to build like an overall skill set that kind of complements LinkedIn and just building a presence.
Awesome. I mean, being a marketer overall, like appreciating
Yes.
the whole marketing aspects, and not just also what you said. I think that's important is like the whole strategy, and not just maybe focusing on tactics alone. People sometimes they
Yeah.
get really lost on that, and I think you posted about that recently, if I'm not mistaken, or that just rings a bell. Tactics versus strategy, or
Yeah, I wrote about SEO tactics versus strategy, where it's like a lot of people will be like, here's all these tactics, but it's like they don't know how to actually create a strategy and like what you need to do. And
I'm gonna optimize the meta title. Okay, son. Anything else? By the way, I'm curious. Did you try the tool I shared with you? I was about to ask you questions on that, but if you haven't, I won't.
honestly, no, just because I was very busy slash with all the ebook and everything else, but
That makes
it
sense.
does
Yeah,
look interesting.
Yeah, before it was, I mean, it's a geo tool to track citations on the LLMs. It's a client that asked me that, and then I got excited and really pushed it a bit further. Now I'm adding
Yeah.
more features every day. And I'm also tracking mentions and not just linked citations. So it's a bit
Nice.
more fun. And is it something that you would like building maybe in the future tools, or you think because I think as a as an influencer, you have lots of opportunities to get uh, more income. So you
Yeah.
can either have a course, either do sponsor posts like you're doing too. You can try different channels, the newsletter. So I'm wondering in the future what you'd like to develop.
I've really never thought about tools because I mean, that's not like my background, but like as we've seen with AI, you can pretty much do anything. But I think it's kind of creating something that there's an actual need for. Um, I can't create it myself, but I'm seeing a lot of these AI platforms will show you all these stats, but they don't actually show you what you need to do to improve stuff. So I think that's a void in the market right now. But as far as actually making tools, I can't think of one that I would want to develop personally.
Okay. Not even something in your day to day that would maybe automate some tasks in your day to day, something a bit more basic.
Probably, definitely reporting. I spend a lot of time each month on that. So I mean, we actually were meeting a bit with a AI. She's like a chat GPT expert, and we went through a course and some stuff there. So, I mean, we've created some GPTs to kind of help with the workflow, but definitely reporting is one we haven't really cracked yet. So, definitely something in the future, hopefully, we'll make something for to increase productivity.
I think I saw something from Markifact doing automated reporting. I tested it last month quickly for a client. It was pretty decent. They're putting the data, then feed it to
Yeah.
GPT. So the slides are already made with some feedback already. Of course, you need to edit it, but I think maybe you can
Yeah.
save like 70% of the time. And it's also something that for me, it's a pain. I like recording the video, going over the results, but
Yeah.
clipping everything, all the things, it's such a pain.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of time on it. So I just, I always wonder is the time worth the amount versus what they're actually viewing, but it keeps me employed, so I'll continue doing it.
As you say, boss. We're coming toward the end of the podcast. I'm wondering about what do you think. I don't want to sound cheesy, but like about the future of search, like everything changing. Everyone's panicking a bit. Sometimes over panicking, saying GPT is taking over when it's like 1%, 2%.
Yeah.
It's like very low numbers. What do you think we're going to see in 2026 in the SEO world, and what are you doing to prepare and kind of tell your clients ahead? Or maybe if you don't have an opinion, also it's totally fine.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm just seeing more and more people going to less websites, and beyond that, I think it's just larger adoption of LLM. So I think I could see like getting more traffic, but I think it's like as I've said a few times, just really diversifying your traffic and knowing where you are. Obviously, trying to get like reviews and things like that for LLMs, but I think at least the way we're focusing on it is just like I've spoken, having reasonable expectations and making sure the client knows kind of where the industry is heading, and we're looking into tools to be tracking LLMs and visibility and kind of redefining KPIs where it's like, here's this visibility, sentiment, things like that, and just uh, continuing to kind of integrate and work a bit more with PR in the past versus now where it's kind of like we're in silos and um, yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. I don't think SEO will ever fully die, but I think it's definitely changed and it's evolving, and you need to be basically everywhere your audience is. So I think you just roll with the punches and keep testing stuff.
Exactly. That's what I was about to bounce on and say
Yeah.
that, like, while building the tool, I was kind of understanding a bit more about geo. Like over the last few months, I had nothing to say about it because I had no knowledge about it, no opinion. So I could have an
Yeah.
opinion. Now I've been testing, understanding a bit more. I've been seeing what works well. I've been seeing some even random case studies for like 5 years ago getting picked up by those tools. I've been
Yeah.
seeing lots of fresh content getting favored because it's fresh, basically, even if it's not that great by some LLMs. And with all those testing, you start to understand, you start to ideate and test. But I think that's just the same approach we had with SEO, like all the time, is just also testing things, seeing what works. And now it's just new, so of course people are panicking and people are selling random courses and tools, and most of them are super overpriced. And so I think basically what we need to keep doing for the coming years is just to keep the mindset, experimenting mindset, and also stay reasonable. It's not because something is new that okay, it's kind of disturbing the situation, but things can still change. ChatGPT can die next year, like Google can just throw up a new thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking it, week by week, and not trying to panic with that. But it's true that sometimes clients, they're over panicking, or the community is over panicking. So sometimes I also panic with them, and I don't know how you deal with that yourself. Just now, maybe you have more experience, so you don't follow the trends, or you still
Um,
get caught up
I
on the.
mean, yeah, I think it's just kind of understanding their viewpoint and kind of explaining them the best you can. And I think most of our upper management is kind of aware like things are changing at this point, and I think they just kind of want to understand the full picture. So we kind of just explain everything that's going on, external forces, the economy. I mean, there's a lot of flux beyond SEO and just the whole world as well. So that's adding to the traffic too.
Are you saying there's stuff above SEO besides SEO? I don't understand what you just said, Peter. Can you just explain it?
Yes, it's something people don't talk about, but yeah, it's
It's quite
definitely
a
affecting
dramatic word
things.
that we have in SEO, and like I was wondering, and I'm like, do people say PPC is dead, emailing is? I never heard that. It's always like SEO is dead. What's wrong with us?
It's clickbait.
All right, for the end, do you want to add something about your course or anything else that you want to add before we wrap up?
Uh, yeah, I mean, it's came out today, 10/17/2025. If you're interested in basically personal branding for specifically SEOs, down by an SEO, or you still have a full time job and you don't want to get burnt out but still want to become active, definitely recommend it. It's cliche, but I would say there's no fluff in there. It's a quick read, but it's actionable and really help you improve your personal branding and tactics that are actually realistic versus some which are these influencers that are just their full time job is personal branding and they just don't know how things work anymore.
Right, the
Yeah.
full-time job is to sell a course on how to sell a course.
I mean, though that's a thing. There's coaches for that.
Man, that's crazy. I'm like, they don't even know to sell their course, but they're like, yeah, yeah, you just have to get more people. It's
Yeah,
crazy out there. But yeah, I'm gonna check your ebook too. I will get
appreciate
it,
it.
and if I can share any feedback, or maybe steal some things from you for my own
Yeah, no,
content
I
later on,
appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll let you know. So, guys, go check out Peter's new ebook. You can have the link on LinkedIn. You can also check it on Gumroad. For now, there's a lower price, and it's going to increase. So you better go check it out soon. Peter, that was super lovely. Thank you so much for coming. I really like your no BS approach. I liked also the fact that since we're both posting on LinkedIn, we could have such a fun talk. And guys, go check out Collaborator Pro. We're a PR distribution marketplace. So if you're interested in either buying or selling links, which no one does, no one buys links, go check out Collaborator Pro. Thank you all for your time. And please like and subscribe if you like the content. Share your feedback and talk to you soon. Bye.